Paramita, Om Shanti, peace to you, peace to me. Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Peter and today I want to talk about how to improve our world simply. Everybody makes everything so complicated these days. It's very difficult to keep up with everything. But I was inspired by this book, Healing Society by Dr. Sung Hoon Lee, Ilchi Lee is known as, and a prescription for global enlightenment. Prescription for global enlightenment. We all have the right, or we all have the possibilities of becoming enlightened in this lifetime. You can do it in one lifetime if you work on it. You have to work on it. So what's his solution to this problem that we find ourselves in today's world? All we have to do, he says, is play well with each other. I love it. So simple. All we have to do is play well with each other. So why aren't we playing well with each other? If you look at the brain, how the brain is consisted, we've got about 5% of our consciousness in our neocortex, and we've got neurons in there, which are like mirrors into the world, and we mirror things that we don't see, or shadow sides of us in other human beings. But 95% of this area of the brain is our subconscious, and that subconscious has been conditioned in the first 7 years of our life, and it's in theta mode. We're in theta mode those first 7 years, so this has all been conditioned. And Dr. Bruce Lipton says it really well, that not all of that conditioning or that training or that learning in that first 7 years is good for us. We begin to get feel doubt about ourselves. We begin to feel less confident, and this is all to do with most of it's to do with our conditioning of the first 7 years. And to break that conditioning down takes practice. It takes a bit of time, a bit of work on yourself, which is why it keeps always coming back to, know thyself, really important. So all the problems in our society today is because we don't play well with each other. Nothing is playing well with each other at the moment. Look at the competition, the wars, the fighting. It's all going in the wrong direction. And I remember now with musical chairs, how that used to make me feel when you're looking at your fellow human beings, or children, fellow children around you, and you're listening to the music and you're dancing around the chairs, and you're seeing them as something to compete with, something to push out the way if you need to get to that chair, because you don't want to be the one left out and made to look like you can't get a chair for yourself. So you're immediately suspicious of the children around you, which is part of the conditioning of us being suspicious of our human beings. We've got that today in the lockdown. We're now with the masks we have to wear, which are now being proven to not be very effective. So that, and looking badly at each other when we walk too closely next to each other, it's all breaking down the trust that we should have with each other. We're not playing with each other well. It's not well. You're just not doing it. So the competition is always there with business. I need that. You're not going to have it. I'm going to have it. So you're looking at other people to compete with, and that's not right. It's not a good thing. So really, competition. We need cooperation. Play with each other well, which is cooperation. Play with each other badly, competition. You got this, two competing forces battling with each other. One of them's going to break, so you're always going to have somebody getting hurt from it. You cooperate and everybody's in 100%, you're going to have playing with each other well. Fighting, wars is to do with lack, or it can be to do with propaganda, like the Middle Eastern wars and 9/11 and how that all started. Problem, reaction, solution, the Hegelian dialect, and the solution was to go to war with Iraq and all these other countries in the Middle East that they're trying to destroy now. They've done a good job with Iraq, they've done a good job with Libya. My goodness me, war is so destructive. It's finished off these countries, finished them off. Unbelievable. So war is not good. It's to do with lack. It can be to do with lack of resources as well. You feel like, well, they got more resources than us. Why don't we go and fight with them? Michael Tellinger has done a great job of showing that we don't have to do that when he's created these villages that produce stuff. And one village, because of the way humanity, the diversity of humanity is, one village is producing this and another village is producing that, and because they're all producing it, they're producing rather than consuming. They've got abundance here, and they come together and they share. So they're in cooperation. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. So it is there. It's within us. It's for us to break down these wars and competition and feeling that we're in lack. So, as I say, the musical chairs really is the analogy that I think of when it comes to competition. And if we were to use our brains properly, I wake the brain up, start it to function properly, good diet, a little bit of exercise, then we would play with each other well. And we'd play with each other properly without competition. We'd be in cooperation mode. And look how we compete with our environment. In the 1950s, they learned to create a hurricane with two jet planes flying in a certain manner with each other, and they would create a hurricane. Do you think that research hasn't gone in to try and modify the weather now in today's world? Yes. If you look at our environment, you've got jet trails all over the place, and I don't feel that they are contrails. I feel that it's part of the geoengineering. Some of it's to deflect the sun because they believe the earth is warming up, and you can see these buildings being built around the world with these big white domes, and then you look at the satellite pictures of that area and you can see this juddering. You can sometimes see it in the sky, juddering across the sky. That's electromagnetic frequencies pushing out and affecting the clouds or even the spraying that they've done up in the skies. So we're competing with our environment rather than living with it, accepting it and working around it. We're trying to compete with it and control it. It's not right. It's not right. We should be naturally living on this planet. Obviously we need to protect ourselves from certain elements if the elements are hostile to us, but to try and control it is like the mad villain in James Bond. We need to control everything. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So we're competing with our natural surroundings, our environments. We compete with our friends and our peers. I felt that many a time being a musician and even being a Qigong instructor. I felt competition and people, I can do what you can do. Rather than saying, well, yeah, I can see what you can do. Why don't we do something together? Yeah, that sounds good. No, I can do that. No, I don't work with you. I'm gonna beat you to that. You know, you still get it in the conditioning of people. They still want to compete with you. Crazy. Get it with your bosses. Trying to compete with your bosses, or your bosses competing with you. I've seen managers when I was learning to speak in public. I saw managers come in. It was a world champion speaker actually came in. He was a manager of a team. And he said how he managed the team. He said it comes up with the work. Who wants to do what? They choose what they want to do. Gives it to them. Lets them get on with it. And he's not worried about whether they overshine him or whatever. He just wants them to do a good job. When he does a good job, then he reports it back to his manager or his boss. And it works like that. And it doesn't matter who comes up with the idea, as long as you're free and open in a cooperative manner, working together, not competing with each other for who comes up with the best ideas. Which leads me on to music. When you're in a band, and everybody wants to be the songwriter, even though some people haven't got the talent to be the songwriter, but they might be an amazing singer, they might be an amazing bass player, amazing guitarist, amazing keyboard player or drummer or programmer. So you have again competition there. If the royalties are to be had, and people want to cut the share because it's very difficult to make music, well, make money out of music now. Very, very difficult time for musicians. So the money's in the royalties still. So if you get placed on a film or the radio, which costs money, by the way, you have to pay a plugger to get it on the radio. So good luck with that one. If you can get it on the radio, great. If you can't, you're going to be losing lots of money. So it's difficult unless you are the owner of your copyright of your songs, and then you might be able to be in the situation where you place the song in a film or something of that ilk, and you'll get the credits for that. So as a band, you'll all be competing to try and get a cut of that money. When you split it 4 ways, you've got people looking at the song that you're creating objectively to make it the best song, or however many members of the band they are, so that they can put their bits in without an angle to it. So you're in cooperation rather than competition. And that works with many bands. Many bands have done that. Many bands are just the songwriters hold it all to themselves, but many bands do that. They split it all so that everybody has an objective look at it, and it's built on cooperation, not competition. And the last point I'll make, which is I don't actually agree with anyway, I'm not anti-vaccine, but it's about this search for the coronavirus cure. And you look at laboratories across the world now trying to compete for it, for the cure. A lot of it's on bogus science, and I've been through that in another video, but they're looking for a cure, and they're competing with each other rather than cooperating with each other, which is what they should be doing. Because if we were truly in this pandemic, not in this plandemic, then it would be of the utmost importance to find something that will combat this. But the figures are so small, even in Sweden, I think it's 99.9% if you get it, the probability of you dying is 0.015%. And the figures are low in Sweden. They haven't had any of this lockdown, which is quite incredible. So you've got these big pharmaceutical companies now all competing in different countries for the cure for this virus, because they know that it's going to be a big money spinner. Again, competition. We need to get it away from our world, and we need to play with each other well and keep it simple. Simple lives are a lot easier. It gets all complicated. It's very stressful, So thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.